Okay, Credit 1, Part 2. Oh, I could go all night with this, but to keep it nice. Part 2. As we were talking, they claimed that I used the card, and I had not. How could a wallet that's in my billfold, card that's in my billfold, be used when it's always declined? And secondly, it's been on hold for 3 or 4 weeks, for almost a month now, and it's in the fraud department being looked at, and I never had got a letter back or call back on that. Now, how, with all this going, how could the card be used? Well, they claimed it had been. Well, they couldn't prove it. They wouldn't prove it to me. All they wanted to do was read me my statement that I had in my hand. The same statement that I was looking at, they were going to read it to me over the phone. I called them liars. I told them to go soak their head in a tidy bowl and flush it and make sure there was some smelly things in there along with it while they did it. They claimed that the hold was removed by me middle of the week that it was placed. That I called in, took the hold off, and started using the card. I asked my wife, did I do that? No. She got on the phone, she argued with them too. Well, they wouldn't speak to her because, she was not on the card. I even gave her the authority and them to speak to her. No, they wouldn't do it. They were afraid to speak to her because they knew that we were correct, they were wrong. Now, one thing you're going to find out about Credit 1 before we go any further is they're Jesus. They're Jesus Christ. They're all-knowing, they're all perfect. They do not make a mistake. 2 plus 2 is 9 to them, and it's 9 to you as well. And you live with what your balance is, and that's final. That's it. You live with it, and that's it. You don't, you could say your balance is wrong. Well, how do you know that? You prove it to me, and they're always sorry. Well, I began to after a while, it was starting to be a yelling match. I lost my voice several times. And it started to be a yelling match all the time. And you would basically, here's how a call goes for them. You call in, and of course you have to push 1 for English, unless you know Spanish. And once you do that, you type in the last 4 of your social, and then you're asked to pick from different categories. Then I normally push 1, and before they can give me my balance, I push 0. Well, then they place me on hold, and when they place you on hold, you set, this call will be taped or monitored or whatever. That's a bunch of crock too, because you would think after calling them a whore, the B word, telling them to go soak their heads, telling them to go play with themselves, telling them to go jump off a cliff, you would think, they would hang up, or they would, someone would be contacting you to say, hey, that's inappropriate language, don't do that. But, they just sit there and talk, and you can talk for hours upon hours to them, and they just sit there, well, nothing's going to change. We can talk all night if you want. They laugh at you. They really do laugh at you. And when you threaten FBI, federal marshals, whatever it might be, they laugh at you and say, I'll go to jail, I don't care, I didn't do nothing wrong, and, so on and so forth. Well, what they don't understand is that they did commit fraud on my account and many other accounts, and they are going to pay for it, but they just don't know that yet. And if it's funny how, in part 3, I'll reveal some things, but it's funny how a card can be on hold and be used, and now all of a sudden in part 3 you'll find out. Now you'll find out exactly what I did and what I will do, but it's kind of funny in a way, but they think they've won it, but they haven't. So stay with me. Be back in a few. Bye.